Justice League issue 49 sees the League survive the explosion, learning from Green Lantern that he couldn't contain the blast around them, instead using his power to contain the people, saving them as he passes out from the exertion. Wonder Woman knows that this was the work of a suicide bomber as she and Flash look over the crowd. Barry wants to get the people to organize search teams for the rubble, but the people say that organization isn't one of their strong suits, as both factions begin arguing with one another, blaming the other for the bombing. The tensions boil over and both factions attack one another. The two sisters from each faction tell the League they need to focus on the Vermidum and why they decided to declare war on them. The injured John knows it's because the League just took out the planet's own military, leaving them wide open to invasion. Superman knows they need to accept the offer of leadership, but Wonder Woman again tells him that they cannot rule. Clark knows that they can't, but they don't have a choice with the people being this defenseless, but Diana leaves him, wishing the newly crowned king good luck. 4 days later, Diana finishes her story to Sid Nix, who knows Diana won't find sympathy for her cause there. Diana, however, wants some advice, knowing the woman wants her people to flourish in peace. Sid Nix, however, says that her people flourish only when terrorized into obedience, and why should she help, since Diana's demon inquisitor has been failing to learn her secrets. Diana is confused, but learns Sid Nix is talking about Batman, who steps from the shadows, saying Diana wanted to understand these people before they could lead them. She knows that the interrogation isn't what she meant, as Batman demands to know why she is so against them taking charge, since anarchy is never the answer. The frustrated Wonder Woman decides to tell Batman the story of a queen giantess from the myth times on Earth, who saw her world was run by warlords and it angered her, so in 1 year she overthrew every warlord she could find. However, she felt no triumph, since all the people still didn't know what to do, and the queen herself was a warrior who hadn't been anything else in life, so she resolved to rule the people as justly as she could, but soon problems started arising. As the League rushed to try and quell the infighting and disarm the people, Diana says that the Queen never relied on anything and she tried to do everything herself. Flash meanwhile races through the populace, asking people to volunteer for service, soon seeing a person trying to eat his wife. The man says that he's doing it because he loves her, but Flash tries to stop him, telling him that cannibalism isn't the way. Diana says that thanks to the Queen handling everything, she became exhausted and her choices did more damage than good. Batman understands the analogy, but she needs to cut Flash some slack, since how is he meant to know that he was disturbing the way of the Cell's mating ritual, since it looks like cannibalism, and now he has learned his lesson, and he knows not to micromanage a population. Diana knows that that's not the Queen's only analogy, saying that she tried a more hands-off approach, just like how Superman is doing. Superman tells Barry that they can't judge the people by their human standards. He knows Green Lantern is trying to talk down the Vermidum, and he bets that they can stay out of the Trothra's business and keep them safe as the new leaders are agreed upon. However, Barry points out that both factions are still battling one another viciously. Diana says that for all of the Queen's doings, her reward was the people fell into civil war and she was too late trying to unite the fractured people. She knows Batman did something similar, knowing that like the Queen, communication was key. So Batman took over the planet's communication networks, telling the people how their overlords commanded them with two separate technologies, organic and electromagnetic, and today he is ending that, syncing both together, knowing that since at times of war, solidarity brings safety. Diana knows that when the Queen did this, she didn't realize how loud she could shout, and thanks to what Batman has done, the Way of the Spark people are in pain, since as they see themselves as pure, sharing signals from organics is like giving them a blood transfusion from a sewer. Batman knows that mistakes were made, but Diana cuts him off, saying the Queen soon yearned for action and its simplicity, and being a giant she got what she wanted. Green Lantern meanwhile contacts Superman, telling him that he has tried to contact the Vermidum but they have failed to respond, instead attacking a Trothra freighter behind John's back. Superman races into the atmosphere as Lantern says an energy weapon was fired at the world's sun. Flash gets the people into shelter as Superman tries to stop whatever was shot at the sun, but is thrown out of the way by Wonder Woman, who demands the Justice League hold a general meeting. Wonder Woman reveals to her team that the objects were Trothra souls, which return to the sun when they die, and Superman was about to block war casualties from finding their final resting place. John says that the League know that they are still learning, and they are grateful that she is talking with the natives, but there is still a war brewing, and Superman knows that they don't have the luxury of time. Diana says that war is already there as the two factions continue to battle it out in the courtyard below them. Superman becomes angered, telling them to stop and demands to know what will make them them unite. He smashes into the ground, immediately regretting his outburst as he sees the terror he has brought. Diana says that the giantess queen didn't know how to lead since she didn't ask the right questions, and asking the captured Siddix if she knows what happened to the queen. Siddix knows it's predictable, knowing that she was overthrown by her people. Soon Batman leaves the jail, saying that he needs to check on something as Diana finds the two children snooping around, learning that they are searching for the Empress's library since they wanted to see what books were and how they feel. One of them reveals that he has joined the Way of the Cell, with his limbs already growing in, and he wants to try and feel the books. Diana shows them the library, letting them look around, as she asks about the children's parents, learning that View says that he cut ties with his parents, and now he's living with his friend. Diana asks if they know about the origins of the two factions, as she's alerted to an orbital sensor being triggered. Wonder Woman joins the League in space, learning from John that the Lantern Directory don't know a lot about the Vermidum, but Batman contacts them, saying that the Empress's data, from what he is able to make out, reveals that she sent 2 delegations to the Vermidum last month, and both reported they had success in gaining safe passage with no hostile intent from them. Bruce knows that the 2 delegations never discuss what happened with each other, so maybe there is something going on here. However, Superman tells him that it will need to wait as the automated kill ship drones arrive, attacking the League. The heroes fight back, beginning to enjoy letting loose on some unmanned drones after the week that they have had, and Diana says that this is what she's been trying to tell them. They are heroes, not rulers, and smashing things is a lot simpler than managing them. Wonder Woman's thoughts, however, are broadcasted to both factions by an unknown force, causing Batman to tell her to watch her words, but suddenly he is shot in the back by the 2 sisters, calling for the death of the Warmonger League in the name of Emperor Siddix. Justice League issue 49 was a fantastic continuation of the Wonder Woman-centric storyline that delivered some excellent parallels to Wonder Woman's own history in coming to a new world, as well as the story she told to the League about not repeating the mistakes of the past. I very much enjoyed Diana being the main character of this story, and also how the League really aren't doing anything wrong. It's just that they aren't quick to realize their ways of sorting things out don't really translate well into other languages or on other worlds. And I love Diana always hitting home the fact that they are heroes, they aren't rulers, they aren't there to instill their values on these other people, they are just there to help. For a filler arc, it's been thoroughly enjoyable and a lot better than the generic action filler that I suspected these arcs would be. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.